Lewis Hamilton looked like he had something going in Canada. A strong start, smooth tire management, and that signature calm behind the wheel. Everything was pointing to a top 5 finish, maybe even more if things fell his way. But then, suddenly, his pace dropped, and no one, not even Ferrari, knew why. What happened next wasn't just unfortunate, it was something Lewis called devastating. Let's break it down. At the start of the Canadian Grand Prix, Hamilton was locked in. He got off the line clean, held position, and stayed latched onto the lead pack. He was running well, making the most of the SF25, which hasn't exactly been the most forgiving car this season. Strategy was tight, tire wear was under control, and his radio exchanges with engineer Riccardo Adami were calm, encouraging even. But something wasn't adding up as the laps ticked by. Hamilton started bleeding lap time. He wasn't losing chunks, but it was steady. Tenths here, tenths there. And when you're fighting in the midfield against Red Bulls, McLarens, and even Aston Martins, tenths are deadly. Adami eventually told Lewis he had damage, but they didn't know where it came from. Hamilton hadn't touched another car. There were no big curb strikes, no offs, nothing visible from the outside. The Ferrari team was puzzled, and so was Lewis. Until post-race, the truth came out. Speaking after the race, Hamilton looked more upset than usual, not just about the result, but about why he'd lost so much performance. "I didn't see it happen," he said, "but I was told I hit a groundhog." Yes, you read that right, a groundhog. Canada's circuit Gilles Villeneuve has always been known for its wildlife, particularly groundhogs, which tend to dart dangerously close to the track. Most weekends they're lucky. This time one wasn't. Hamilton hit one at speed without even realizing it at the time. The impact tore a hole in the floor on the right-hand side of his car. All the aerodynamic veins in that section, gone. That explained the lost downforce. That explained the lap time drop. But for Hamilton, the technical diagnosis took a backseat to something more personal. "I love animals," he said. "That's horrible. That's never happened to me here before. It's devastating." It wasn't just the floor damage either. Hamilton said the car also developed a brake issue mid-race, and then, as strategy went sideways during the pit cycle, he found himself stuck in traffic, just spiraling further out of contention. He still salvaged 6th somehow, but that wasn't the real story for him. Hamilton made it clear he's grateful for the points, but Ferrari needs to step up. The upgrades aren't coming fast enough, the package isn't where it needs to be, and even the smallest problems, like a groundhog, can spiral into something much worse. "I'm here to fight," he said, "but there's a lot that needs to change before we're back at the front." Lewis Hamilton just dropped a line that's got the entire paddock whispering, "I wish I could tell you what's happening." What is really going on inside Ferrari? Why is the 7-time world champion, known for keeping things polished and professional, suddenly throwing cryptic shade at his own team? This isn't about a poor race weekend. It's about deeper cracks forming under the surface. And Hamilton just hinted they run much deeper than we thought. Let's break down what's being said, what's being left unsaid, and why this might be the clearest sign yet that Ferrari's house needs more than a new coat of paint. It's easy to point at the SF25 and say it's not fast enough, but Hamilton's words suggest the problem runs much deeper. After yet another race spent trailing behind, not just the McLarens and Red Bulls, but his own teammate, he made it clear that he's not just frustrated with the car, he's frustrated with how Ferrari operates as a team. There's a lot of changes that need to be made in the system. So many things I wish I could tell you. That's not just about aero balance or power unit delivery. That's about culture, structure, maybe even leadership. And when someone like Hamilton says, "We're not fighting for a championship just 10 races into the season," he's not waving a white flag. He's calling out the battlefield. Despite starting ahead of Leclerc in Canada, Hamilton was overtaken, finished behind, and once again left pointing to what could have been with better upgrades and better calls. And it's not the first time, it's becoming a pattern, one he's clearly getting tired of. To add another layer, rumors swirled during the Canadian GP weekend that team principal Fred Vasseur could be on the chopping block. And just when the media expected silence, or even subtle distancing, Hamilton went the other way. Fred's the main reason I'm in this team. I want Fred here. This wasn't just a PR save. It was a public declaration of loyalty and a potential warning to Ferrari management. If you lose him, you risk losing me too. Hamilton made it clear that his focus is long-term transformation, not short-term panic. My goal is to positively influence. Try and get change so we can have long-term success. It's a rare moment of transparency from a driver who's usually guarded. But more importantly, it's a sign that Hamilton isn't here to play along with the old Ferrari narrative of internal drama, reactionary decisions, and excuses. He came to build, and he's not shy about demanding the right tools and the right team dynamic to do it. What happens when a 7-time world champion steps into Formula One's most iconic team and finds himself stuck in reverse? Lewis Hamilton didn't join Ferrari to fight for 5th place, and now the frustration is boiling over. While the team promises upgrades and progress, Hamilton is running out of patience. Nico Rosberg sees it, the paddock feels it, and with Silverstone approaching, the pressure is reaching a critical point. So what's really going on inside the Scuderia? And what comes next if things don't turn around? This wasn't how the story was supposed to go. Hamilton's blockbuster switch to Ferrari was meant to ignite a new championship chapter. Instead, 10 races in, he's yet to stand on a Sunday podium. And he's already hinting that the internal situation is far more complicated than we know. I wish I could tell you what's happening. There's a lot going on in the background. Those cryptic words say more than they let on. While Charles Leclerc has bagged multiple podiums, Hamilton is left explaining groundhog collisions, brake problems, ride height issues, and, most of all, a lack of real upgrades. "We're in need of an upgrade," he said bluntly. "There's a lot of things that need to change for us to compete at the front." And while Ferrari engineers continue to downplay expectations, Hamilton is already tasting new parts in the simulator. But even he doesn't believe they'll bring the breakthrough he needs. According to Nico Rosberg, Hamilton's patience is hanging by a thread, and the British Grand Prix is the last real shot for Ferrari's SF25. "All the hope is on that Silverstone upgrade," Rosberg said. "It has to work for them." Ferrari is reportedly set to shift full focus to its 2026 project, codenamed Project 678, later this month. That means whatever they bring to Silverstone, the promised rear suspension fix, might be the final meaningful update this car ever sees. But here's the catch. Hamilton didn't come to Ferrari to be a placeholder. He came to build something, to lead something. And unless Silverstone shows real signs of promise, expect the conversation inside Maranello to shift fast, from how to win now to how to finally get it right next.